right, Myles, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Myles McDougall, and I am running for the UCP nomination for the Calgary constituency of Calgary Fish Creek.
Tell me about yourself, Myles.
Well, I am a proud Canadian and a proud Albertan. I've been living in Calgary Fish Creek for almost 20 years. I'm currently CFO of a oil and gas technology company. I have an undergraduate degree in economics and political science and an MBA. I've been a professional economist as well as a finance professional for most of my career. I am married to a lovely woman that I met in Argentina, and I have one son.
Why do you want to run for MLA?
Well, primarily it's because there are several issues that I have been observing and I'm concerned about what's going on, well, generally in the world, but certainly Canada and within Alberta. There are many issues, but certainly the huge debt that we've accumulated. I'm concerned about what that means for my son and the rest of Albertans in terms of how we're going to fund and finance some of the challenges that we face, whether it's the aging population, whether it's climate change, whether it's how our hospitals and education facilities are operating. We need to be clear as to what are the facts behind some of these issues, and we need to be clear as to what are the both benefits and costs, including unintended consequences of some of the propositions for solving and addressing some of these issues. Affordability is a big problem right now for many people in my constituency, and thankfully our province, because of its natural resource revenues, has the fiscal capacity to help address some of these problems, and I think we need to respond to that in a way that is targeted to those who actually need it, without building in long-term cost structure into our government.
I know you've been spending many hours going door to door talking to the residents and members of your constituency. What are some issues that you've noticed many people are concerned about, and how do you think that you're going to help address those?
I think that what I'm hearing is that a lot of people are concerned about the extremism of some of the conversations in the province or in our communities. I think people are really looking for bridges and people to try to wed some of the disparate opinions and perspectives so that we can agree on a way forward. People are absolutely concerned about the efficiency and efficacy of our healthcare system right now. We do spend more than any other province in Canada and most developed countries per capita, but it's become apparent that we're not getting the outcomes or results that we should for that investment. So we need to look really hard as to what we're doing and how we're doing it. I think many other people are concerned about what's going on in education. We've come through a couple of years of COVID shutdowns, and that's had a big impact on many of our students. Affordability, as I mentioned, is a big issue for many people. And like I said, there are things that we can do. Many people are concerned about policies imposed on Albertans by Canadian central government, but most people by far are also proud Canadians and want us to address the intrusion into provincial jurisdictions in a way that is firm, but with a plan to try to get negotiated settlements, and so that we can get on with providing those government services and building a strong economy, and not having to bicker amongst ourselves about who's supposed to be responsible for what. Climate change is an issue for many people. There's significant disagreement on how urgent is the need to respond, and what exactly can we do to respond to those issues in a way that is consistent and actually achieves the objectives we're trying to do. So if it's CO2 emission reduction is the objective, which I support, then are our policies actually leading to that? And are we doing so in a way that is optimal? That is to say, minimize the cost of doing that and actually getting results that are consistent with what we're trying to do there.
What do you bring to the table when it comes to Alberta's politics? How is your experience going to help you be the best representative possible for your constituency?
My candidacy in many ways is being a candidate for a job. You know, I'm applying for the job to be the representative of those people in my constituency who will provide and look out for their interests within the legislature, within caucus, perhaps in cabinet. And so what are my skills, what is my background, and what, you know, why would I be well prepared to assume that type of role? And so I speak in part to my involvement in my own community within the constituency as a volunteer, whether it's coaching youth in a variety of sports, or whether it's being involved with my community association, where I spent some time as president of Lake Buena Vista Community Association. So I think that helps me understand what's going on in the community and what people think. As would be addressed in any type of a job search is, you know, what is my academic background? Well, I'm an economist, a double major in economics and political science, and an MBA. I have actually worked in that area, starting out when my first job out of my undergrad was executive assistant provincial treasurer of Alberta, so working in the legislature. I went overseas and worked in the banking business, rising to the position of senior vice president and living in many different countries. And I think that's important because I lived in several countries that would be considered underdeveloped, places like Argentina and Brazil that have all of the resources or types of resources and all the opportunities of a place like Alberta, but have squandered those, in large part because of ill-considered policies, societal divisions within their own countries. And I see some parallels with that, with what's being proposed these days by various levels of government. My specialty was oil and gas, and so I've seen what transpires, and I was part of a global oil and gas team. So I have a pretty good sense of what has been going on around the globe in terms of hydrocarbons and energy, the ability to attract investment into your jurisdiction, to be able to provide that prosperity that we all seek. Started my own small business in the technology area, working on reducing CO2 emissions in places like the oil sands. I have a good sense of what it's like to start a small business, to run a small business, to try to attract investment to your business. And finally, it's just the way, the type of person you are. I'm spent a lot of time working in multicultural environments in different countries and different organizations, in volunteer organizations, and trying to bring people together to meet common objectives, trying to work through and analyze the complexity of issues that can be very complex and come up with optimal solutions. We're all aware of the echo chambers and the divisions that exist in our society, in large part because of the nature of social media, in large part because it gets simpler to talk in terms of t-shirt slogans and shout at each other and insult each other and straw man each other's perspectives, as opposed to have respectful conversations and understanding. I think we need more politicians that try to be the bridge and try to say, hold on, let's try to find some common ground here. Let's make sure that we're proposing solutions or executing solutions that understands all those different opinions and perspectives out there. And this is something that's my natural orientation, and I think is something that's needed. The simple answer is that I care about the quality of life in my community, in my province, and in my country. We need bridges to connect, an ability to listen, freedom to speak honestly and openly on societal issues, and we need representatives that can communicate those issues and have conversations about these items. I think I can play a productive role in this.